The worst feeling in the card market is actually not taking a loss. It's when you have a chance to turn a profit. It's when you have a win available, but you pass on it. You choose to get greedy. You see the values are starting to rise. You say, hold on a minute, let's see where this thing goes. It could go even higher. And then the window closes and you lose your chance at turning a profit at all. And so that is why I'd rather sell too soon and win than hold too long and lose. And so you got to understand in the sports card market, there just aren't that many players who will actually be good enough to rise endlessly over time. And really, when we look at the types of players who have climbed kind of endlessly over the years, it's really only the best of the best players. So if you're looking at the kind of GOAT caliber players or the contenders that could be potential GOATs in the future, Tom Brady, when he was kind of rising up the ranks and people were saying, oh, hold on, Montana is still kind of in that GOAT seat. Well, all of a sudden, Brady goes out and keeps winning Super Bowls. His cards continue to climb in value because he replaced Montana. And now he's pretty widely viewed as the GOAT by pretty much anyone that knows football based on what he did on the field. The same thing goes for a guy like Patrick Mahomes as an active player who is, he's on his way up. He's got a few Super Bowls under his belt. He's still young enough where people can say, hold on, Brady won a few late in his career. Maybe Mahomes could do that too. So he's on that trajectory where he's got at least a chance to contend with Tom Brady. And so that's why you see some of the best cards of Patrick Mahomes selling for absolutely ridiculous values. But all these other players, all these other very good players, the stars, they might rise here and there. They might, you'll see some ups and downs in the market. You'll see some seasonal swing patterns that'll happen where they'll kind of dip on the way out of the season and then they'll rise because people are excited going into the next season. But there aren't that many players where you can truly just say, all right, let me just spend a few $1,000s on the best card I can afford for that money of this player and just throw it in a safe for a decade and see what happens. Like for most players, that's a losing bet. And so that's the reason why I like the idea of selling when the profit margin is available rather than trying to time the absolute peak of the market. It's just so unlikely that you're going to do that. And here's the thing, if you're focused on some of these younger, less proven names that, prospecting in baseball, for example, or, in basketball or football, you're buying cards of a rookie or a second year guy who's unproven and you're hoping that he takes that next jump this season. Those plays can make you money. But the thing is, when the profit margin is available, sometimes that's the only time that the profit margin will be available. And once the window closes and people realize, oh, this guy isn't that caliber of a player, the window is closed for good. And so, yes, if you take the money every time it's there, that means you're going to pass on some of the potential upside. But it also means that you pass the risk to your buyer. And that way you don't have to take the chance of seeing what happens in the future and trying to predict the future with any kind of consistency, because that's really difficult to do. And so at the end of the day, I'd rather sell too soon and lock in the win when the profit is there than hold too long and take a loss. Do what you want, but this is the approach that's served me well.